Hey there and welcome. So you're diving into Microsoft Teams. And yeah, at first glance, it can feel, well, a little overwhelming, right? Like there are a million buttons and features. But here's the secret. You absolutely do not need to know everything to be great at it. We're going to cut right through all that noise and get you up and running fast.
What if I told you that you really only need to get a handle on 3 core features? Seriously, that's it. If you can just master these 3 things, you'll be able to tackle something like 90% of everything you need to do in Teams on a daily basis.
So over the next 2 minutes, we're going to walk through these 3 pillars: team conversations, private chats, and online meetings. And by the end, trust me, you'll have everything you need to get started with confidence. Okay, let's dive into the first one.
First up, we've got team channels. The best way to think about this is like the main public square for a specific group of people you work with. It's where all the project discussions and big group announcements happen right out in the open for everyone on that team to see.
But first, let's back up for a second. What even is a team inside the app? Well, it's pretty simple actually. It's just a group of people who are working together on something. This could be your whole department, a group for a specific project, whatever. Chances are someone has already created these teams and added you to them.
So how does Teams keep all of this from becoming a total mess? Well, inside of each team, you have what are called channels. You can think of a channel as a dedicated chat room for one single topic. For example, maybe you have a marketing team. Inside that team, you might have channels for social media, product launches, and budget planning. It keeps everything super organized.
Okay, now this brings us to what is without a doubt the single most important rule of team channels. Listen up. If you want to start a totally new conversation, you click Post in Channel. But, and this is the big one, if you want to add to a discussion that's already going, you have to always use Reply in Thread. This is so crucial because it keeps conversations bundled together and prevents the channel from turning into a chaotic, impossible-to-follow jumble.
So in a really busy channel, how do you make sure that one specific person actually sees your message? Easy. You use an @ mention. Just type the @ symbol and then start typing their name, no space in between. This sends them a direct notification, basically cutting through all the other noise and pointing them right to your post.
So here's the key takeaway. You need to know when to use a public team channel versus something a bit more private. Team channels are for your project work, for things where everyone on the team needs to be in the loop. Remember, anything you post there is public to everyone, even new people who join the team later. Private chats, which we're about to get into, are for those direct one-on-one conversations.
And that brings us perfectly to our second core feature, private chats. This is your go-to for those one-on-one messages or for a quick chat with just a small group of people, away from the main team's public square.
Using it is super straightforward. You just hit the compose button, type in who the message is for, and fire away. You can also attach files, and here's a really cool little feature. Any file you share in a chat automatically gets saved in this Shared tab right within that conversation, so it's incredibly easy to find them again later.
All right, that takes care of all the typing. Now let's talk about our third and final core feature, meetings. This is basically your virtual conference room for setting up and jumping into video calls with your colleagues.
Scheduling a meeting is all done right from the calendar section. You fill in the basics, the title and who to invite, but before you send, you have to check out the scheduling assistant. Seriously, this thing is a lifesaver. It shows you everyone's calendar availability all at once, so you can find a time that works for everybody without sending a dozen "Are you free then?" emails.
Now, before you actually pop into a meeting, Teams gives you this really handy join screen. I like to think of it as your pre-flight check. It's where you can turn your camera and mic on or off, make sure they work, and even set a virtual background before anyone else in the meeting sees you. And once you're in the meeting, this little control bar is going to be your best friend. You've got your obvious camera and mic buttons, the chat panel for dropping in links or questions, and under that more menu with the 3 dots, you can even record the meeting. When it's all over, you just hit leave. Simple as that. So that's the big 3. But hey, before we wrap this up, I want to give you a few quick pro tips. These will help you customize your team's experience and, more importantly, solve a really common problem that trips up a lot of new users. So, a little while back, Microsoft made a change and combined the chat and the Teams sections. And honestly, it confused a lot of people. You might log in one day and think, wait a minute, where did the button for all my teams and channels go? It's a super common question, but don't worry, the fix is really easy. All you have to do is click on that 3-dot menu up in the top right corner, go into your settings, and look for a section called Chats and Channels. From there, you can just switch the view from combined back to separate, and boom, your familiar Teams button will pop right back into the navigation bar on the side. Easy.
And here are 2 final quick tips for you. If you happen to use Teams for both work and personal stuff, the account menu makes it really easy to switch between them. And my favorite tip, you can completely customize that sidebar on the left. Just right-click on any icon to pin it, unpin it, or even just drag them around to create a layout that works perfectly for you.
And that is it. That's the Quick Start Guide. By just focusing on those 3 core areas, channels for your group work, chats for direct messages, and meetings for your calls, you now have the solid foundation you need to use Microsoft Teams like a pro. See, it's not about mastering every single button, it's about making it easier for you to work together. So, are you ready to streamline your teamwork?